Hello, beautiful people of Plateau State. Welcome to Silicon Plateau Podcast. My name is Tapmun Tukura. I'm your host for today, and I have with me my guest, Mr. Nnamdi Ibe. Am I right?
You're right.
Okay, you're welcome to Silicon Plateau Podcast.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you for having
It's good to have you here.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. I mean, you don't have to be uptight. You can feel free.
That's fine.
So I'm just going to ask you a few questions concerning your field, what you're doing, and everything. So on a very lighter note, I heard you, I'm not sure if you were just the one, but I heard you had your hand in building apps for, I think, Plateau Riders, Valg, and a few of these places. And I'm like, oh, the regular Valg. I mean, we're part of the people that are really patronizing them and all of that. So how's that been? How's that built you? How's that pushed you? How's that made you thought differently concerning how to do better in Plateau State? Because I mean, all of these things are in Plateau State and you are doing a lot for Plateau State.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, right? So, yes, we were there from the very inception of Valg.
Yeah.
And a couple of other transport companies.
Okay.
So it's a product we have for transport companies, both within Jos and outside Jos and across the country. So Valg, they are one of the users, and it's been a pleasure helping power them. So how it was for us, basically, it's been a learning curve, a very interesting learning curve, because one of the things we believe in is going the entire journey with the business. And so it implies going out of your way, especially for a startup, especially for a product that is growing with organization. So yeah, it's been interesting. It's helped us build a lot of resilience, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. So, and then there's this growing argument that founders in Jos have an uncertain or unfair, advantage to other states like Lagos and Abuja in the ecosystem. They're trying to, like people like in Lagos and Abuja, are trying to get the hang of or have an understanding. What do you think? What's that one advantage do you think Plateau people have harnessed, like gotten the gas?
Harnessed.
Yeah.
Okay, I think one of the things we've accepted is that we have talent. Plateau State has a very young population, and that has been the strength. And I think in the last administration, I would speak about it from the two previous administrations. Plateau State has talent, a very young population who are eager to express themselves creatively and in tech. I think one of the things that happened in the last administration that amplified that was there are a lot of youth initiatives. But my point is this. Talent is our strength, right? And that's one thing that the other parts of the country have also, but not as much as we do. We have an untapped talent base, an untapped creative talent base. Now, so that's an advantage. But then, while I state the advantage, I would like to also add this part, is that relative to those two ecosystems, the Plateau ecosystem and the ecosystem, for example, in Lagos, I don't want to use Abuja because Abuja is not so far from Plateau.
I mean, they say Lagos is like the tech city.
So in Lagos, you have a more complete ecosystem.
Okay.
In Jos, you have an emerging ecosystem. There are a lot of players in the ecosystem that we don't yet have. And our strength has been talent, but I believe that advantage needs to apply or manifest itself in end products, where we can now begin to have those talents put into a pipeline that exposes them to opportunities and exposes the ecosystem to businesses that would find a place to put in those talents.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes a lot of sense to you. So that's surprisingly, the question you asked me has been something that has been high on my mind lately. How can we transfer the strength of Plateau State, which is the talent base and the young people, beyond just getting skills, or into having a finished product that ensures that they don't necessarily migrate? And then that translates into depth and growth in the ecosystem.
Okay. And then thank you so much for that answer, because I think it gave me a broader understanding of what's going on with talent and the system and standards and all of that in Plateau State. So my next question is, if you were pitching Jos to an investor, what would you tell that investor? How would you make the investor believe? Everybody believes that Lagos is where innovation happens. So what would you pitch to the investor that would challenge that assumption?
Okay, so there's no straight answer to that. But because it's a pitch, you need to give them a little bit of context.
Yeah.
Because for people to invest in you, they need to invest in your story and the people in your story, not just in the promises you tell them. So if I'm going to pitch this city to an investor, it's a question of, do you want to invest in a saturated market, or do you want to invest in a market that you have the possibility of owning? So investing in Lagos, the systems are already set. The structures are already existing. There's hardly a sector you would invest in where you will not have other major players. But in this part of the country, you have the possibility of owning the market, owning the ecosystem, owning your space in whichever sector you choose to go into. There's a lot of promise in logistics. There's a lot of promise in agriculture. And some of the things that we're high on doing now is to turn our energy into ensuring that those kind of startups and businesses begin to spring forth that are powered by innovation. So there's a lot of possibilities there for investors. It's a case of, if you're coming here to have a proper startup around agriculture, you're most likely going to be the reference organization for other organizations or investors that will be coming in the future. As it is with mining, as it is with a lot of sectors, a lot of things are not yet fully experiencing true innovation. So it's a question of, and a true investor would hear me when I said what I said, because you're going to be investing in the future where you have the power to control the outcomes of that sector.
True.
Yes, so that's one of the most attractive things in Plateau State. And anytime I travel across the country, that's the message. You would never hear me talk about insecurity, because I strongly do not believe that the insecurity that people talk about is as it is presented. Yes, we have all of those challenges, but there's a lot more going on. I'm one person that talks about the good of the city.
Thank you.
You can't be investing your time, energy, resources in a city and be part of the messengers of doom.
Doom, true.
There's agriculture, there's mining untapped. There's a lot of talent, a lot of young people on the streets that are working hard. There's tourism. Those sectors are sectors that other parts of the world have maximized. They've invested in, and that's the story of Plateau State. That's the story of Jos. Each time I think of Plateau, I remember the home of peace and tourism. The piece of maybe because I'm passionate about this city.
No, I'm enjoying this actually.
Because the peace and tourism is the story of Plateau. It's the story of Plateau State. The hospitality is the story. Hospitality is a multi-million-dollar industry.
True.
That's the story. The talent is an amazing opportunity for us to explore. Okay, I just heard. I returned from a trip and I read on news. I'm not done reading the story where this current state government, the DG of PICT, I think it was his post, where he spoke about the business process outsourcing stuff that they're starting. That was really heartwarming. Because like I said, previous administrations may have focused on, if you talk about tech, for example, I hope I can speak freely, right?
Very freely.
So if you talk about tech, I remember there was something called Cold Plateau.
Yes.
That created something land-breaking and caused a lot of young people to begin to look in the direction of tech. One of my greatest desires has been, how can this administration leverage on the gains of those initiatives? And I saw the first fruit yesterday when I returned. Because we need to create an avenue where the talents we create have a space to operate.
True.
If we don't have something like what was being created recently, the talents will find their way out. But when talents remain, startups are created, businesses are created, and investors can now see the possibility and the possibilities there. So yes, we can maximize those gains of Plateau State, those stories of Plateau State, those things that work in Plateau State. So I can keep on going.
So amazing. The reason why I was smiling was because I had a previous session, podcast session, and I mean, exactly what you said was what my guest said.
Oh, great.
Yes, exactly what you said. And I kept saying, I was like, Plateau people should keep showing the positive things happening. Like, it's not just bad things that are happening. And then we have to keep showing people that good things are happening. It's not just the bad things that are happening. It's not like other bad things are not happening in other countries and states. But then it's our own that we keep posting the...
A few days ago, there was the shooting in America where the supposedly most powerful man and his vice were. What does that tell you?
That things are happening everywhere.
Things are happening everywhere.
So you choose what you want to...
You choose what you want to sell. So one of the things that should be our strength is the power of storytelling.
Thank you.
We should tell our stories right. I can tell a story out of this podcast. Just the very fact that a couple of young people are creative enough to even know to tell a story.
True.
That alone is another industry that can start. So there's a lot to sell.
Tired of juggling multiple apps for your money? Meet Liquify, your all-in-one financial companion. Access loans at the most competitive interest rate to handle emergency. Spend globally using our virtual card service on all your favorite platforms. We let your money go borderless using stablecoin cryptocurrency to access global markets. We provide safe investment options backed by government financial instruments designed for long-term wealth creation. Easily spend your stablecoin on everyday needs like airtime, data, and bill payments, all in one secure app. Liquify, money that moves with you, coming soon. Join the waitlist at liquify.com.
So, like I said, Plateau people, tell your story, tell your positive stories.
Yeah.
I mean, that sells us better.
Sure.
So, my next question goes like, we often reduce startup challenges in Nigeria by saying there's no power, that's light. There's no power, there's no internet, there's no funding. But these barriers go beyond, they are deeper than these things. They are more psychological at times. So, from your experience, what are like the limitations that keep these talents away from global reach?
Global reach, right?
Yeah.
So at Axia Hub, one of the things we did is that we tried to eliminate the challenges you mentioned. We tried to generate our own power. We basically tried to build in isolation, because there's this very interesting narrative that the average Nigerian business spends 70% of its effort trying to bypass the system. That's a story for another day, trying to overcome the challenges of the system. But so I think it's beyond those infrastructural gaps. It's the government's responsibility to provide the infrastructure required for businesses to thrive. So what then is our responsibility? I think, because your question is around what psychological shifts need to happen for these talents to play globally. Surprisingly, these talents are already playing globally. One of the earliest stories is still the person at Paystack, Loknan. There's someone called Loknan at Paystack. I don't know if you've heard about him. I still kept contact with him lately. And I know a lot of techies. I know a lot of people who are actively playing in industries across the world. I have friends in major multinational organizations, and maybe they're not making a lot of noise about it, but I have people from Plateau State doing great things across the world, doing great things across Nigeria. So the psychological shift I truly desire that the average person here should have is accept your disadvantage, but then build irrespective of it. Unfortunately, when you take that route, you may not necessarily be the beneficiary of what you're working for. But in the next few years, because what we are doing is not just for now, it's for tomorrow. So accept the fact that, okay, these challenges are there and it's not necessarily in your place to fix them because you're not the government. So what then do you do? The world doesn't take excuses. So one of the things I think we need to overcome is to set our minds right and know that, yes, Lagos has investors, Lagos has money, Lagos has structure. What does Plateau State have? What should we focus on? And focus on it and grow with it. So the statement I usually make to people is, even if you're building locally, build to global standards. Don't build below par. This is a well set up studio. It will most likely be better than quite a lot of studios you see around the world.
True.
That's because you're passing a message. So that when the world finally comes to meet you, they will not see something that is below par, that is substandard. So within your limitations, try as much as possible to set up a system and set up a mindset that is global, that has global standards, that has excellence while playing locally. Then the world will gather at your feet.
Okay, thank you. I think this takes me to my next question for you. And I think it's more personal than general. I mean, we heard Axia Hub made the waves in the iHatch cohort. So what were the operational adjustments you needed to make to meet up with the standards that NIDA and
ONDI
placed?
Okay, so for us, it was a form of validation of the processes that were underneath.
Okay.
We didn't necessarily have to do anything differently to get there. There are certain things we believe in. One of the things we believe in is ensuring that we contribute to the development of the ecosystem. So I realized from their selection process that they were looking out for organizations who were more centered, who they could leverage on to reach the ecosystem. Not necessarily organizations that will just count their selection as a win. So whatever happened there is not as exciting, is not really so exciting to us, because for us, it's responsibility. It means that after those 7 intense days, it means that we suddenly start to feel responsible for the Jos and Plateau State ecosystem, because we cannot know what we know and continue to do things differently. So back to your question, we were selected on the basis of the things that were being done. We had actually insisted on doing things differently. From day one, from our inception, we had insisted that we would keep to certain business processes, keep to certain cultures and values that represent what we wanted to do.
So those were your standards?
Those were our standards. So we basically didn't do anything. We were just contacted. In fact, we were recommended. So it's not, we didn't necessarily apply. We were recommended, and then they were asked, okay, fill up this. And then they came to do the vetting, and they felt we matched what they wanted to achieve. So that's the idea.
Nice. So what did that experience teach you, like in building institutions, not just startups?
So what it did to us is that it made us a little more selfless.
Yes.
Because the ultimate message of that whole initiative is actually the federal government's efforts at building individual ecosystems. So what it did to us is that it made us a little more selfless. It made us more open to opportunities that are not necessarily tailored to only our group. It made us see the opportunities here a lot more. And see how we can be the meeting point for the different parts of the ecosystem. So we should look out for things like more collaborations between other agencies, government, the academia, and the industry, because we had a better understanding of the ecosystem. And so, like I said, it was a call to responsibility. It changed our mindsets, basically. And so we're looking forward to the next few months and years and what to come out from it.
Okay. So, the thing is, a lot of hubs want visibility.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to do the back end duty. Like, nobody wants to take that operational discipline of what it takes to do. What did that discipline, like, what did excellence cost you internally?
A lot. I could be in another part of the world working remotely. I'm a software engineer.
Okay.
I've been actively doing that for quite some time now. It cost us time. It cost us resources. We basically bootstrapping with our own funds. One of the things it cost us, it helped us leverage on relationships. It cost us time, effort. So what relationships that we could have leveraged on for profits, we had to leverage on it for stability, for growth, for the vision we had in mind. It cost us maybe the glitter. Yeah, because running the kind of team we run, it's a big team.
Yeah.
And given that we don't necessarily have external funding, we had to evolve our processes to be sustainable. Our processes around human resource, our guidebook for human resource is not conventional.
True.
We leverage on a lot of people to get what we want to get. So yes, in terms of cost, basically it's more like when you get things that you should celebrate and rest, you're most likely thinking of what's the next initiative around secondary schools, what's the next initiative around the universities, what's the next need the ecosystem has, when we can actually be doing other things. So for us, we chose that part as the path to visibility, not necessarily visibility before the work.
Yeah.
So in line with your question, I hope I answered that.
You did. Thank you. I got a hang of it.
Sending money home without losing half to fees.
Paying my bills before the deadline every time.
Investing in my future and not just surviving today.
Having a backup when emergency hits.
One app that just works.
Thousands of people are already on the wait list.
Liquify.
Build for us, build by us. Your spot is waiting.
So my last question, because we could keep going on and on.
Yeah.
But we have to go. So my last question is, how has the total experience with everything that's happened, changed the way Axia operates? Like, changed the way you guys now mentor your founders and how you run your programs?
So right now, we saw one of the major gaps in this space. It's not a lack of talent.
Yeah.
it's not a lack of ideas. It's not a lack of people willing to do businesses. But we found out that businesses and founders need to be prepared differently. We don't necessarily have in this space, we didn't necessarily have a structured and defined preparatory process for founders. And that's something that's available across the world. Many countries that have excelled economically and in these spaces are intentional about the developmental process of their startups and of their founders. So that's something that we are going to be focusing on.
Okay.
An intentional effort at ensuring that businesses are structured the right way, are taught to do business the right way, and are prepared for the visibility they desire, they dream of. It's one thing to dream of being visible, I want to be the biggest company XYZ tomorrow in the world, but many people don't know how to do it. And what we do as business preparatory process is not necessarily going to prepare us for what we are dreaming about. So there's a total revolution in our mind, in our approach, in our processes, to ensure that when businesses, even if we have two startups, and one startup in Plateau State that does it right is enough to put the entire state on the map. So how about we build that into our system? So we are building that into our system, into a structured process that ensures that founders are well guided for what they would dream of becoming.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nnamdi. I mean, this conversation made us see how resilient you are and how hardworking you've been doing everything you're doing behind the bars. So we really appreciate your coming. Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Thank you.
And it was beautiful having you.
Pleasure.
And we look forward to seeing you more and more times.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.